There's a whole lot of Chinese electric cars. A whole lot you can buy now in Australia, a whole lot you can buy overseas. But in China, there is so many cool looking electric cars now that you can buy that are very, very affordable. Out of all the cheap ones that I've seen, I look at them every day. This is probably the coolest looking $16,000 EV that I've ever seen. In fact, not probably, it's definitely the coolest. The iCar V23. It's made by Chery and Xiaomi. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching the Electric Viking. I'll be at the EV show in Melbourne on the 11th of August. Would love to see you there. I'll put a link in the description below to tickets. Guys, I want to say a big thank you to our Patreon supporters and our YouTube members. Really probably couldn't do this without you. And lately it's you probably saw there's no videos for a week. And I don't do that usually unless I have to. So yeah, some stuff has come up unfortunately. So my apologies for not having videos during that week. The iCar V23 electric SUV, it's a joint project between Chery, which is now one of the biggest automakers in China, and one of the fastest growing EV manufacturers as well. They're making it between Chery and Xiaomi. So the brand is called Zimi Technology, and it's going to start from $16,000 US. Honestly, this is actually such a cool vehicle that distributors from outside of China are already planning on selling this vehicle under the JQ Lucano brand in, I believe, potentially even Australia as well. JQ are coming to Australia, guys. So this vehicle here might be coming here. Hopefully it is. I'd love to see these on the roads. I think they look rad. In China, you see a lot of these kind of cool looking cars all the time. I did when I was there. I was really surprised. I was constantly going, oh, look at that. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? I know what that is. I know what that, what's that thing? So that was my experience being there. And a lot of them are not really boxy shaped. They're more sleek looking. They look nice. But this is more of that kind of, more of a masculine looking car. I quite like the look of it. And $16,500 for this vehicle is pretty good when you consider it does have 400 kilometers of range. Apparently, you can pre-order one for $275. The final cost that you owe after that is $16,200. So the iCar V23 is actually the brand's second model. And like I said, it's manufactured very efficiently. So they're using, pretty much most manufacturers now are using structural batteries, gigacasting. They're pretty much mostly implemented Tesla's technologies to speed up production to increase structural rigidity of their cars. The iCar V23 looks a little bit like the iCar 03, which I also did a video on. The V23, how big is it? It's not very big. It's about the same size as a Volvo EX30. Volvo EX30, that's a cool looking car, right? This is a lot cheaper and I think it looks a lot better. Anyhow, it's 4.2 meters long, 1.9 meters wide, but it's got a really long wheelbase of 2.7 meters. Incredibly long for a vehicle this size. Very, very short overhang. So that means the interior space is pretty good for the size of the car. As you can see in the interior, it looks sort of like a modern G-Class Mercedes. Sort of has that boxy looking, it's got those knobs on the front screen. It's kind of the design of it. It's a little bit boxy, a little bit square shaped on the inside, like it is on the outside. And I think that interior looks fantastic. It's one of the best interiors I've ever seen. I can't believe this car's $16,000. Anyhow, ground clearance, 206 millimeters. Not a huge amount of ground clearance, obviously, but this is the two-wheel drive variant. So that's the single motor variant. It will, of course, eventually be an all-wheel drive variant as well. Apparently, the gear shift sits behind the steering wheel. I don't know why you need a gear shift. I mean, I don't think they're saying gears. Maybe they're just saying, drive, reverse, park. What does this have? Well, it actually does have lots of millimeter wave radars. It has Qualcomm Snapdragon 8155 chip, so it's got pretty smart technology. In addition to that, I believe it has a lithium ternary battery, so nickel, manganese, cobalt battery pack, and there'll be two range variants. There will actually be a 300 kilometer range version and a 500 kilometer range version. The battery comes from CATL, and considering the size of this vehicle, I think the range is pretty good. But about the size of the battery, it's believed that it's going to have two battery options. One of those will be a 50.6 kilowatt hour battery pack, and that'll give you the 300 kilometers of range. The other battery will be a 65.7 kilowatt hour pack, which will give you the 500 kilometers of range. Could they put a bigger battery in and give it more range? Sure. But do you need more range than 500 kilometers? I don't think you do. Either way, guys, $16,500 for this model. Yes, that's the smaller battery option. The bigger battery option is probably going to cost you about $20,000. Isn't that an amazing bargain, I think? And considering the very, very, very cool looking styling on the inside and the outside, the CATL battery pack, I think this is a really cool car. And I'd say I wouldn't mind owning one like this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.